The next person I get to call up is Liz Faenza. Right, so Liz has an undergraduate degree in Languages and Psychology from Canberra U, a Masters in International Relations in Conflict Resolution, and a Masters in Education Professional Practice from Deakin University. She's got 20 years experience as a hypnotherapist, 10 years experience as an international sales trainer, and is accredited Myers-Briggs Type Indicator Assessor, is that right?
Correct.
So everybody, Liz Faenza, I'm sure you'll be amazed.
Thank you for the previous speakers who are showing us a perspective on what schools are now doing, and that's a big difference from what would have happened, say, when a lot of us were back in school. You know, I've been interested in this topic since I was a child. I don't know if any of you know me well. I've got a fairly large scar in the middle of my face, which I got very young in life. And so I always stood out, I was always different. And I had to be on the receiving end of bullying, and I had to learn to be resilient. And back then, people just said, just get back in there and throw a punch. That was the solution to being bullied. It wasn't very sophisticated, and a lot of people's lives got destroyed because there were no really good coping mechanisms for it. So as a result of some of those experiences, I got really interested in behaviour. Not just bullying, but why we behave the way we do, and why we develop the way we do, and why we might have certain preferences for certain types of behaviour or certain types of experiences. Now, for a long time, there wasn't much science around this stuff, but lately that has really changed, and I want to share that with you this evening. But before we do, I want to bring out a real-life case that happened in Australia. Now, some of you might recognise this photo. It's of Brodie Panlock. Now, Brodie was just a typical, absolutely gorgeous 18-year-old when she started working at Cafe Vamp in one of the better suburbs of Melbourne, Hawthorn. Now, what happened to Brodie was that she was in a relationship with the cafe's manager, and you would have thought that she probably would have had some favouritism when she went to work, but that wasn't the case at all. What actually happened was the manager, her boyfriend, and two of the other staff members decided that she could just be the emotional punching bag of the workplace. And so over more than 12 months, they subjected Brodie to all sorts of harassment. They criticised her for her clothing, her choice of earrings. They told her that her hair looked stupid. They told her that she was fat. They told her that she was a whore in front of customers. Now, she was only 18 years old, and she was in love with one of these men. Now, the cafe's owner didn't do anything about it, and even other staff complained, and still nothing was done. On one particular occasion, two of these men held Brodie while the boyfriend poured fish sauce all over her, and then they told her that she stank. Now, this level of daily harassment just kept going. And what happened was Brodie didn't even, she stopped complaining. She didn't even believe anymore that it wasn't warranted. Her parents, her brothers, her friends tried to tell her, listen, Brodie, this job isn't worth it, get out. But Brodie had started to believe she was worthless. And so she couldn't leave. Now, all of this came to a head when Brodie attempted suicide. Now, she didn't succeed and took some time to recover, but when she came back to the workplace, those three men put rat poison in her bag and told her to go home and do it right this time. It's pretty shocking, isn't it? So what happened next was Brodie went to the top of an apartment building and jumped off. She was 19. She died 3 days later from the head injuries that she sustained. Now, there was obviously an inquest, there was a workplace case, and the magistrate said in that case that the workplace was completely unsafe, that the owners of the business had failed in their responsibility to create a safe space for Brodie, and that the men had behaved criminally. Now, the three men were all charged. They were fined between $10,000 and $45,000 each, and they each have criminal records. The cafe's owner was fined $220,000, but I don't know about you, I don't think that adds up to a human life. Her family is left devastated, 2 brothers and the mum and the dad, and you can only hope that these 4 men might, in some way, start to understand that their behaviour was unacceptable. But in the interviews I've seen with them, I don't think that's the case, because they are missing one very important factor that is present in most people, and that's empathy. And it is the one thing that we know, if it isn't developed in young people and they don't learn how to deal with aggression, leads to bullying behaviour with no remorse.